John Wayne B.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, look. Too hot, the haters know they can't fade us. Headed to the top, just stay tuned for the latest. Soon as the episode drop, they gotta play us. All I know is we got the flavor.
What's up? It's your boy Los LOS from the Flava Podcast. You are listening and watching the best show in Chicago. Come on, somebody. Yo, it's the new year. This is the first podcast of the new year. Yes, you don't see Suli right now. She's taking the week off. I think she's taking 2 weeks off. Her daughter was in town and she's going to be hanging out with her daughter. So mother-daughter time. So it's going to just be me and Gregory in the back. But I do have a guest today, a special guest, a friend of mine. We became friends last year, let's say summertime. And I think she's an awesome person. She's an entrepreneur. She's doing great things here in Chicago. She is moving and shaking. And you're about to see her everywhere in Chicago. If you're an entrepreneur, you need to link up with her. So, what is her name? How can I say this the way I want to say it? Because I'm going to say it in Spanish, but I'm not that sure how to say it in Spanish. Paloma Greer. Hi.
Thank you for having me.
How do you say it in Spanish exactly? Is it
Paloma?
It's Paloma?
Yeah, you're just Paloma.
But in English, why do you say it in English?
Okay, get this. Palombo, Palomino, Petaluma.
What?
Yes, in English is tricky, but it's just Paloma. Paloma, yeah.
Is there a middle name to that?
I don't have a middle name.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to call you Hustler. Paloma Hustler Greer.
Something like that, yeah. That'd be an awesome middle name to have, yes, for sure.
Miss Hustler, yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do? Tell us your name, how you say your name, and what do you do?
Sure. I'm Paloma Greer. I am a very artistic soul. I am a super creative human being. I love to connect with people. I love to have deep conversations. I'm a mom of 3 beautiful boys, and I'm a grandma of a beautiful little 2-year-old, and I'm an entrepreneur. So I am the founder of Cachet Marketing and Events, which you've heard of a lot lately.
I have, yes. I have.
And what else? I am a professional dancer as well, and dancing is kind of like my safe, sacred place, which turned into a project, and then, into a business. So that's part of what I do as well. And I am, bilingual. I'm from Mexico originally. I got here when I was about 17, turning 18, and I've been here ever since.
Okay. So you're an entrepreneur. How long have you been an entrepreneur?
Officially for about 5 years, but I was always doing like side hustles and side projects that generated some kind of revenue. But I actually started, shall we say, as an entrepreneur about 5 years ago. So Cachet Marketing was really just an idea on paper back in 2015, which to me was like a dream. It just seems so far away. And then 5 years later, it's all happening in ways that I did not imagine it would. So I'm super grateful. Hasn't been easy, nonetheless, but it's been super rewarding.
So you were in the corporate field?
Yes. So I started my career very young. I started to work pretty much as soon as I got here in the States. So I started my career in the hotel business.
Okay.
So I started, from the front desk. I was a front desk clerk. And then I got to be a night auditor, so I got to really get to know the business, how every system worked. I closed the business basically for the day, so I got to know operations really well. Then eventually I got promoted to front desk supervisor, and then assistant general manager, and then district assistant general manager, and then I switched to sales. And I've been in the sales field since 2000. Oh, wow. So, wow. I always say nearly 15 years, but it's more like 25 years. That should tell you how old I am.
Time flies.
Yeah. So yeah, I've done a lot of sales. I've been in the corporate world for many, many years. So I was, since I was young, I've been a hustler, I think. I happen to be really good at sales. I have a little bit of banking background as well,
Okay.
which I hated. I'm not gonna
You
lie.
hated banking. Why did you hate banking?
Oh my God. So, it's all a numbers game like every other business, right? But it was just every day the same thing every day and the same scripts and the same people. It was just a revolving door. And it was just my bankers hated me. I hated them. I hated my job. That was, that's when I developed a lot more anxiety because I do deal with anxiety.
Okay.
And I remember having panic attacks on my way to work. I had to pull over.
That job was not for you.
Not at all. Not at all. Nonetheless, I learned a lot. So I was a branch manager, so I got to experience really great training through.
Wow. So you really moved up from the
company.
hotel business.
Yeah. Actually, they pulled me from there.
They pulled you from. How did that happen?
So the bank called us. At that time, I was managing the hotel. So they called us to see if they could buy lunch to our staff to do a banking presentation to offer our staff to open bank accounts. So, we said, yeah, sure. It's free pizza for everybody. Sure, come in. So because most of the staff spoke Spanish only, I stepped in. So I kind of helped out. So I explained everybody. Everybody had a lot of questions, So I was just kind of like the middle person, And then they opened 17 accounts that day. And then the manager, you should work for us.
They saw cha-ching.
Yeah.
This one right here.
Have you ever, considered banking? I'm like, I have no financial background. They were like, well, it's more like retail. Just come talk to us, So it was quite a change, but money was great. So I'm like, sure. And then I came in, I drank the juice. So the first 2 years, it was amazing. And then when I realized that, my soul was slowly dying, I decided to, really disengage. So I was very detached from my job, and it was just, a paycheck, So when I realized that, I had to do something about it. So that's when I took some time. Around that time, I had my youngest, and I decided to stay home for a little bit, spend time with my baby. And I'm so glad I did that. And then I thought, I'm going to do something that I really like and enjoy, which is marketing. So I got myself involved in marketing in 2011, and ever since I've been hustling since.
Awesome. So you quit your job, your corporate job, and went on your own.
I actually got laid off during COVID.
Okay, like everybody else. Okay.
Yeah. So at that point, I didn't know what was going to happen. Everything was very uncertain. They were supposed to call us back, the people that they were going to invite back, and I wasn't one of them. So I was like, okay.
You're like, yay!
What do I do? So.
Wait a second, but you didn't like the job. But yeah, I know you had to pay the bills, though.
Well, at this point, I had another job, which it wasn't.
Okay, it was a different. It wasn't a bank job.
No, the bank I left back in 2011. That's when I said
that was done.
Correct.
Okay.
And then I went into marketing. That's when I was doing.
Right, I got that part. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I thought the marketing was after COVID. No, it was before COVID.
It was before COVID. I became an entrepreneur, and I did my own. Basically, I took the leap of faith, and that was after COVID. That's when I said, okay, this is when I have all the time in the world, and it's game time. So I jumped in. Here I am.
So how did that feel, like saying, I'm going to let go of this check that I get every week or every 2 weeks to trying to get a check whenever you can?
It's still tough. It's still rough, even though with the experience with the clientele that I have built for years, it's still very uncertain. And that's part of where you have to really believe. For me, it was not just letting go of the paycheck, right? I can tell you anything, but to maintain it and to make sure that those accounts stay, that's a whole other monster. And so, it was, okay, I closed this deal. They're doing well. They're going to put everything on pause. So that happens, a lot of the times. You offer a service, you solve the problem, and they were like, oh, well, thank you. That was great. We'll call you next time we need you. And it's still like that, but that's why you have to build more and more accounts and expand and scale. But back then, so when I got laid off, I had a little bit of, money saved. So it wasn't super uncomfortable. So I gave myself some time to build my book of business. So at that point, I had 3 clients only that I was doing somewhat, private, shall we say, private projects for them. So I had 2 millionaire clients, and I learned a lot from both. Good example, bad example, I learned a great deal. I made a lot of mistakes. One of them became my mentor. And I thought I knew what I was doing.
But your mentor told you something else.
He destroyed me. When I tell you destroyed me, yes. So it's not just letting go of the paycheck, but you also have to be open to the process of becoming an entrepreneur. Because you're not going to build something overnight. You're not. That's just not how things work. And it is that leap of faith, but not just, okay, I can do this, but also believing that it's possible, believing in yourself. Because you might have all this cliche, things in your mind like, and manifesting is like, but how do you manifest really?
I'm going to manifest a check to pay this rent.
Exactly.
Or this mortgage, yeah.
Yeah, or sometimes, self-sabotage would kick in. A lot of your unresolved trauma will show up. And then you will also attract a lot of your own.
Ooh, come on, somebody.
Yeah, you will attract people that will mirror your energy.
Yeah.
So if you have unhealed wounds that say happen in childhood, it will show up in your business. It will definitely show up. So I had to be open to the process, be humble enough to take a look within. And I think that for me, that has been the hardest part of becoming an entrepreneur, because it's not just a business. You can have all the tools in the world. People can be like, here, this is the magic formula. This is how you do it.
The whole package.
The whole package from A through Z.
Right.
But eventually, you will self-sabotage if you have certain, issues like, worthiness, self-worth, like your self-worth. What do you think of yourself? No confidence. Or, I was very confident. I could sell you anything. But when it came to charging what my work is worth.
Isn't that the hardest part?
Whew.
Yeah,
Yes.
I feel the same way sometimes when I give out my services, and then it's hard for me to say, pay me what I'm worth.
Exactly. And nobody has a budget, right? Like, what's your budget? Well, I don't really have a budget. Okay, so how are we going to do this? So there are things that you get to learn about yourself, and then you have to face yourself and say, okay, do we put an end to this? And then I had to stand up for myself. I did a lot of, work for free.
Pro bono.
Which it helped, right?
It does.
It does.
It does help out.
Right. To build and to establish yourself.
To a certain level, though.
Yes.
Or degree.
Correct.
Like, you can't pass that up. It's like, okay, I did 2 for gratis, right? Free. But this next one, no, you see my work, you're coming back for it. So this time around, you got to pay for this.
Absolutely. So changing and evolving as an entrepreneur, you go from not charging enough or not even knowing how do you price your services. So what do? You go to the competition to see how much they're charging,
Absolutely.
what they're doing, what kind of packages they're offering. And you can copy all of that. But does that really reflect you
Yes.
and your worth?
Are you better?
Exactly.
Are you better than that or less than that? You judge yourself. You could level it out and say, okay, well, I'm giving more services, and I'm a lot better from that work that they gave you last time you received.
Yeah,
I'm awesome. I'm amazing.
absolutely.
Amazing charging.
Yeah, and because that comes with, to work with me, you don't only get the artistic talent, right, for the design portion with the things that I do, which, I focus on my bread and butter, websites and social media marketing.
Flava Podcast is all up in it. Gotta be there. It's your homeboy. That's what it is. Peace. Fuzzy Coffee.
So we are back with Paloma Greer. I almost said that wrong. Paloma, just because I did say it wrong, has it always been Greer?
No. No, and then you mispronounced it. You have to say it right.
Which
Are
one?
you ready?
The Greer part?
Yes.
Okay.
It's Greer. There you go.
They're Greer.
The cougar in me now.
So we were talking about your social media work and your websites. So what do you do exactly for your clients when it comes to that part?
So I help them elevate their brand through stunning visuals and a really good website that will generate results. That's kind of like my primary focus. And then I also do social media marketing.
Okay, I'm going to say she did not swear.
No, it's focus.
She did not swear. What happened there is her Spanglish came out. So if you guys are watching this, go back a little bit and hear it again. And
Yes,
go back and
there
hear
you
it
go.
again. So I'm going to have some fun with that.
Oh, boy. Just don't try to make a remix with it. 'Cause,
It's a remix.
So, yeah, I primarily focus on creating stunning websites because, it's all about what you see, right? Honestly, I go to a website, and if the website is not up to par, like I don't. If I'm not impressed, most likely I won't do business with you, and that's just the reality of
You know
things.
what's funny too? Because I'm thinking in my head, you saw my website, and that's I know.
Yours is actually good.
No, it's not. Stop
It
lying
is-
to me. You're being nice. You're being nice.
Okay.
You're being too nice. Because I know that website looks like hot garbage.
I mean, it's like everything, right? You can always improve. But I trust me when I tell you I've seen some.
You've seen worse.
Oh, my God. I had a client. He's like, oh, my God, I get 12,000 views per month.
Mm-hmm.
But why are you not selling anything? And people get there. We can send them there, but you're not closing the deal. And it's the presentation of the website. That's why it's such an important thing to have a website that reflects your brand. So you don't want your brand to look tacky or to look amateurish or unprofessional. So that's where.
So if I were to hire you, you could spruce up the Flava Podcast website. But you know, like hip hop stuff. I'm a big '80s.
Oh yes, absolutely. So that goes through. We will have to do a discovery call and see. I will have to see examples of what you want to create, and yeah, for the most part, I always deliver. And I'll tell my clients all the time, I want you to love it, and if you don't love it, my work is not done yet. So.
Okay.
So yeah.
So that's what you do, and people are loving it. Social media.
So far, yes.
Social media. Well, I've seen your stuff, so I think it's awesome. I think it's
Thank
great.
you.
Thank
you.
I
I
have to
appreciate
work
that.
with you. I definitely have to work with you to spruce up my website.
I'll be happy
Especially with
to.
the things that I'm doing here. Now I'm teaching classes
Yeah,
about how to podcast, so I need some things that look appealing to the eye.
definitely.
I'm pretty sure you can do that.
I can hook you up, brother. I got you.
So social media side, how do you help out your clients there?
So same thing, just that social media presence is everything nowadays. So consistency when you use your posts, obviously that reflects your brand. So everything is branded, everything is designed and to make sure that it reflects your brand. And then we also produce video marketing. So we are huge with video because video is everything nowadays, as you can see.
Yes.
And there's a formula to it, and the algorithm changes all the time. So it's hashtags are not as affecting as it was.
I keep on telling people that.
Yeah, so hashtags nowadays, they're kind of like not relevant anymore. It's all about retention, not even likes and engagement. Before it used to be about engagement, right? But anybody can just like throw a heart, but they just watch the first 10 seconds of your 30-second video.
That's right.
It's all about retention. So nowadays, social media, the algorithm is all about retention. So if your videos don't perform well, you're never going to get out of your little circle. You have to perform well. And, like right now, Instagram, for example, they are doing things a bit different.
2025 is going to be totally different when it comes to Instagram.
Oh, absolutely. And right now they are actually trying something where they show your content to a small percentage of your followers, but also to your non-followers to see how that performs. So if you get a high retention video from your non-followers, most likely they'll push it out to the rest. So that's where, so you definitely want to have over half of your audience to be non-followers. And your retention, you want it to spike up or watch the entire video. So there's a formula, and also how you shoot it, lighting, it's very important. Angles, music, what kind of emotional connection you're making with the audience. So there's so much that goes into that, and that's what we specialize.
I think people are going back to long form content.
Right now, yes. So right now, the recommended length is a minute and 30 seconds, where it used to be like 15 to 30. So everything is changing. But right now, what social media wants is your attention. So as long as you produce something that retains the attention, you are definitely winning.
I also think it comes with the funnel. How are you funneling your content? So I believe start at TikTok.
Yeah, and also depending on the audience that you're trying to reach, right?
Yeah.
So as we know, there's an older audience on Facebook, there's a younger audience on Instagram, and TikTok is kind of like free for all.
Now it is. Because before it was all kids. Now you got like 60s to 80 years old down there.
Oh, yeah.
Doing their thing.
Yeah, for sure. So I think that TikTok is definitely for all, but it's more like an entertaining platform where you go to get entertained, right?
Absolutely.
Instagram is more like, I want to learn. So you go to, for the influencers that you get content or you get value from. Like, okay, I follow this person because of the content that they create that helps my content, you see? So I tend to follow a lot of, videographers, and of course, I pay attention of what they do, and I take every tip, right, to create my own little videos or whatever, but the same goes for anything else that you create on social media. So I tend to follow those that know what they're doing, that I notice their attention is high, and also, something similar to what I want to create. And I'm an artist, so I have originality, and creativity is one of my top talents. So there's always a way to make it your own. And that's what I do for my clients as well. Some clients say, I really don't know what to do. I have no idea, or they don't want to be on camera. They're like, you do it, I'll stay behind the scenes, and that's that, So, you can work with people, or people that want to be very involved, and those are the ones that, they want to be on camera.
Love to be in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Sometimes they shouldn't be.
Sometimes a little too much.
But I'm loving what you're doing. I'm loving that you put yourself out there. I'm loving that you took the chance on yourself. And I'm pretty sure, because there was one side saying, you can do this, girl power. And another side saying, maybe I can't. Maybe I'm thinking too much.
There's been times where you are literally in the middle of the journey, and you're like, I'm just going to go back to a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Yes, that happens. And it's like I said, it's not easy. But entrepreneurship is not for everybody. You have to have that true passion, right? So this is the one thing that I always think to myself. Either I can go back to do what I was doing and play the game, right? 9 to 5 and secure a paycheck. But I know I'm going to be miserable, right? Or I can work hard for myself and make as much as I want, knowing the risk that sometimes you lose the deal. Sometimes I've had clients where, okay, yeah, great, send me the contract, we'll start at such and such date, and then boom, they ghost me for another 2 months. Oh. It's happened.
I've had those. Yeah, I have those too.
Yeah. So yeah, you definitely have to consistently create a lead system. But I'm very blessed to work with other people and some new partners that I was able to connect with. So definitely a good lead system that would feed your pipeline is definitely key, I think. And then you always have to create ways to connect with your audience, and that's where authenticity comes in handy. I am who I am. This is who I am. That's why I left my corporate job, is because I want to do this. I love doing this. And I also get to decide who I work with and who I don't work with, and I feel free. I feel liberated, and I know it's not easy, but I would not do it any other way. I'm a true entrepreneur. I'm in too deep to quit. So, se jodieron. You're gonna listen. you're gonna know who I am and what I do. So yeah, I'm not going back.
The Astonishing, the Odd Podcast. Every Monday, 11:30 a.m. Make sure you like and subscribe. Part of the Flava Podcast Network. Let's go. It's the OWD family. We gon' do our thing.
So there was a question I asked that you went around, and that question was about your last name.
Yes. So I was married many years ago. I got married really young. Divorced really young too. And in the beginning, I did not want to take his last name. It's funny because I ended up keeping it, but it was more because I guess at that time, that's when I started to create a name for myself. And even though I did consider changing it back to my maiden last name.
Which you keep on going around.
Oh, it's Castillo.
There you go. We got it, ladies and gentlemen.
Castillo.
That was a whole 2 minutes right there going around that.
Well, you didn't ask me what was my maiden name. You just asked me about the other
It was
last
kind
name.
of implied.
Yeah. So my maiden name is Paloma Castillo Avila, which is my birth given name. Because in Mexico, you have two last names.
That's right.
You have your dad's first last name and then your mom's first last name. So my birth name is Paloma Castillo Avila.
So it's kind of your middle name.
Castillo would be, kind of.
A little bit, yeah. Because my real name is Carlos Ivan Arroyo Jr.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Junior, okay.
Yeah. So my father is Carlos Manuel
Arroyo Senior. Yes.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, same with my father and my older brother. They have the same name, but my brother is Junior. So,
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you kept the last name.
I did, only because it's a very unique name. So if you look me up, I think I'm the only Paloma Greer in the entire national database. So basically, I'm the only Paloma Greer.
You can't say your last name like that. Hold up. You can't say your last name like that when you told me how to say your last name.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just kidding because I wanted to see.
But you got to say it again. You got to go.
Greer. Well, that was part of why I didn't want to take his last name because I couldn't even pronounce it,
Okay.
But I adopted it, and at first it was just weird. But I have been Paloma Greer since 1999.
Okay.
So it's, I don't.
26 years now.
Yeah. So, 26. But I don't, like if you call me by my birth given name, it would sound really weird.
It'll throw you off.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And I like it because it's very, for marketing purposes and just for a brand, it goes with my personality, I like to confuse people like, what is she?
You know what? That's exactly what you're doing, because that's where I was at.
It works.
Like, well, she has an accent.
Right.
Yeah, but where's that accent from?
Yeah, but my accent is not quite Mexican. I've been told. Yeah. I think it's just a compilation of all the people that I've been around, and I don't know. I don't even know, to be honest with you, but I do have an accent. It's not quite Mexican. It's not, So a lot of people think that I'm everything and anything but Mexican. I've been told Colombian,
Greek,
Puerto Rican, Greek, even Indian,
Greek
Punjabi.
Your black hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greek I don't get as much, but the first three top ones, Puerto Rican, Colombian, or Mexican. Yeah, those are the three top ones. But yeah, and I guess I look Mexican, but I have a little bit of...
It's hit or miss. It's really
Yes.
hit or miss. You can't really
Yeah.
tell. Yeah, you can't really tell.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a this or that. I call it a game called this or that.
Sure.
So I'm going to say two things. You pick one or the other, and you tell us why you're picking
Okay.
whichever one you picked. This is just to get to know you a little bit better, so our viewers could get to know you a little bit better. So here we go. Ready? Some of them might be real silly.
Okay.
Okay. So, Tom or Jerry? And I'm not talking about the ice cream.
Oh my God, that's a really good question. I'm going to say Tom.
Why Tom?
Because you're the cat. You're the one that chases the mice. So, there's no,
Like being in charge.
I'd rather be the cat.
But Jerry was
sure.
really in charge, right? It wasn't Tom.
Yeah, I suppose. That's a really good question. Wow. Silly, but really good. Yeah.
Okay, so you went with Tom. Okay. So, White Sox or Chicago Cubs?
Cubs, only by association. I don't understand anything about the game, but pretty much all my friends, I was introduced to baseball through the Cubs. So I'm going to say, Cubs. Yeah.
Okay. Arroz con gandules or white rice and black beans?
I'm going to go with arroz con gandules for sure. Yeah.
Why?
Because my sister makes the best arroz con gandules. Like, even Puerto Ricans ask her, which restaurant did you get it from? But she makes it.
Okay.
So I'll take that any day over anything, and kind of rice.
Okay. So, Mexico or the U.S.?
Oh, the U.S. for sure. Yeah. To live? Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, to live?
Yeah.
I think Mexico's so beautiful.
If you go on vacation, yeah, but like to live there, I don't know. I mean, I'm from Mexico City, so, well, not quite. El Estado de Mexico, which is kind of like the suburbs, but I don't know. Life over there is just so, I don't know. I find more peace here in the United States.
Really?
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe I haven't been there. I mean, I haven't been there since I got here, so it's...
I've only been to the resorts, so I always say
Yeah.
Mexico because I only been to a resorts when I go out
Well,
there.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's
If
beautiful.
you go on vacation, yeah.
Yeah.
But to live, no, I don't think. Well, things are different now. They have, a super good president now, and the economy seems
Who's the
to
president again?
be doing.
Is Fox? No.
No,
Fox
it's
is
a
out.
woman. Her name is.
Well, I heard she was tough.
She is. She has, I think, a Jewish last name. I cannot think of it at this time. But she's straight. Like, she is for the people. I trust her. I mean, I always follow my intuition as to, like, who's the real deal, So maybe nowadays I would probably retire in Mexico, but, like, in a villa, yeah.
Okay.
But right now, when I'm in my hustle, no, I need to be here.
Okay. Yeah. So, Wonder Woman or Superwoman?
Superwoman. Yeah.
Why?
'Cause she can fly, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Can the other fly? I can't remember.
Wonder Woman could fly in her invisible plane. Remember, Wonder Woman has an invisible plane.
No, because I'd rather fly.
So, this is a good one. Batman or Superman, and why?
Oh, for sure, Batman. Hands down. He's sexier. He's rich. He's popular. He's an entrepreneur. Yeah. Yeah, in that mask. I mean, yeah, for sure.
For sure. It's funny because you picked Wonder Woman, but when it comes to the men's side, it's Batman for you and not Superman.
Yeah, I mean, Superman is from another planet. Like, I feel like I would definitely click better with Batman. Yeah.
But I always say Superman could kill Batman. Don't you think? No?
Yeah.
Yeah? Could crush him real quick?
Yeah, but I think that Batman would definitely have a way more better life, more interesting.
I see where you're going.
Yeah.
I see where you're going.
Yeah. Because think about it. Superman is always like, it's drama. I don't like men with dramas, let alone, the superheroes. I'll stick to a human that is hot, that is rich, that we can converse. I can take a ride in the Batmobile, hell yeah. Batman 100%.
It's Batman for her. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I throw always this one out there. And I'm probably sure I know where you're going to go with this. So Chicago Bears or the Green Bay Packers?
Oh, the Chicago Bears. Are
But
you
why?
kidding?
Why?
Because number one, they're Chicago, and number two, that's all I've known. So
Jesus Christ, but they suck badly.
Yeah, but I don't know, my loyalty is still, and plus I kind of have ties to the Bears, so, it's
You know
like-
what's funny? Because I was interviewing them,
Yeah.
and I'm actually a Green Bay Packer fan, so I had fun with it. I had so much fun with it. At the end of almost every interview, I always say, "So when the Bears going to beat the Packers?" And they always, I got the clips. Oh,
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
I just revealed I'm a Packer.
Yeah, but you left that for the end, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Then we had a big laugh and whatnot.
Yeah, no, they are pretty fun, and I've done events with them.
Yeah.
They've been really amazing to me or any organization that I'm working with, and I just really admire maybe I don't know
No,
the Packers well enough, but
well, the Packers are great players. Give them that. But I give this to the Chicago Bears that I interviewed because of you. Great men of God,
yeah,
all of them.
yeah,
All of them. Entrepreneurs, all of them. Giving back, a lot of giving
Yeah.
back. They do it all the time.
yeah.
So, yes, I give those guys, the ones I interviewed, I think it was 4 or 5 of them, big ups, huge big ups, because they were awesome, they were amazing, and I love the interviews that I had with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love them too. I definitely, I'm going to say Bears. That's my final answer.
Okay. So if you had a favorite car that you could pick, car, truck, whatever it is, automobile,
Oh my God.
what would it be?
To be honest with you, I am like the least materialistic person. Like I don't really, as long as the car functions.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You don't have a favorite car ever? Like when you were a girl, did you want like a Barbie, that pink Corvette convertible?
No, but if you took me shopping, you're like, baby, I'm going to get your car. I'm like, all right. I will probably go, I don't even know, to be honest.
Would it be luxury or would it be basic?
Yeah,
Would it-
definitely. I mean, I am pretty enticed with Teslas, so
Okay.
maybe something along those lines.
The truck? Would you get the truck?
Hell yeah.
Really?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't know why, but I could see you in that truck.
Move. No. Yeah, I kind of like to hide from the public sometimes. So I feel like
Oh, that would definitely hide you.
that cyber truck is sweet too. Like nobody would imagine me
Coming out of
driving
it,
that,
yeah.
or coming out of it, right?
Coming out with
So-
your heels.
Right.
They're like, what?
My 6-inch heels.
On the side of the truck, it says hustle.
Exactly right. Well, I like. I can't even think. Luxury cars. I like Bentleys. I mean, that's
Those are nice.
That's
Yeah.
the one car that I would say, ooh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't really. Yeah, I haven't. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. I need to be more intentional of what I want.
Well,
Yeah.
on my vision board, right,
Yeah.
is a Mercedes.
I did do a vision board
Mm-hmm.
right before the year ended, right? And that was one of the things that I put in. It was a black Mercedes. It was like I really like sport cars, but
Okay.
I don't know what's what.
So
but
not truck, but sports.
right?
sporty car,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, and then trucks are just a little too big for me, but like I definitely see myself driving something like a little more sporty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm little too. It's like in a truck I literally have to jump out of the truck.
But the Tesla truck is not that big. It's wide, but it's not as
Yeah.
height wise. It's not that big.
Yeah, so right now, Tesla is one of Tony P's networking event partners.
That's right.
Yeah, so you can get to keep it overnight and stuff. So it's pretty cool. It's
Really?
So if you're a member, you get to try that. So we're going to be definitely doing something with them, and they are pretty much at every event. So yeah,
Awesome.
I'm dying to get my chance. Just
Cool.
to see,
Yeah.
You never know. You may just see me in a video jumping out of a
Yeah,
cyber
jumping
truck.
out. You might be passing by, don't even know it's you because you can't see inside the Tesla.
Right?
But I'm not going to go business just yet because I want the viewers to get to know who you are.
Sure. What would you like to know?
So, where were you born?
I was born in Mexico, Estado de Mexico. To be exact, Tlanepantla, Estado de Mexico. Yeah.
You viewers saw how the Spanish came out. The
Spanish.
Spanglish went away, and the authentic Spanish came out.
Yeah, I think the Chilanga came out.
So, you were born there. You had mother, father, sisters, brothers.
So yeah, I have both my parents still, and thank God. And I have an older brother, an older sister, and a younger sister. So I'm the middle child.
You're like me. We're the middle child. We're the ones that got problems.
The black sheep of the family.
Oh, I heard that all my life.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So, who were you when you were this young girl in Mexico around 10 years old?
I was super Christian. Not that I'm not. I guess we can talk about it, but I'm not religious anymore. But back then, my parents were pastors of a church. So we were deep.
This is something new that I found out about you. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So my parents were very strict. So I remember literally painting my face as a mimes, I think they're called, mimos. And we would go out in the street and preach the word of God and share the news of, Jesus. And I remember being very passionate about that, and I was always involved in things like that when I was younger, up until I was like maybe 13, 14.
Wow.
And then after that, se jodió.
But you were still in Mexico when you were 13, because you didn't come here
Yes.
until you were 17, 18 years old.
Yeah,
Correct?
correct.
Okay, so you went to grammar school in Mexico.
Yeah.
Right? You went parts of high school in Mexico.
Actually, I was already in what would be considered college, because the educational system is a little different here.
Is it better?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I thought you were going to say.
100%. Yeah, when I got here, I was like, wow, I saw this like no joke, because they wouldn't honor some of my credits, so they pushed me back to being a sophomore, and I was already in college in Mexico.
You're like, I'm a doctor. Compared to you guys, I'm a doctor.
Yes. No, and I mean, I remember being like, wow, like I saw this in the 6th grade. Like I remember the level, like it was just too easy. Like I remember thinking, wow, really? Like, but yeah, I guess each country has like different systems, but I remember thinking, yeah, this is like definitely behind. Like I remember thinking like they're behind, So yeah, I was already in college over there when I left, and it was a little bit of it was hard to adjust, because I sure didn't feel like a high schooler. I was already turning 18, and I remember I was like the oldest sophomore, in my class, and I was just like, I didn't like it.
You were 18 and a sophomore.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was pretty tough.
Yeah.
And didn't speak the language either.
Yeah.
So that was tough. Yeah.
What high school did you go to when you got here to Chicago?
Elgin High.
Elgin High, suburb,
Yeah.
the burbs.
Yeah.
The burbs, okay.
That's where I first came to live, Elgin.
So you came here with your parents?
One of my parents.
One of your parents?
Yeah, with my dad.
Okay.
And my brother was already here. I've always been the closest one to my dad, so I guess we were the first ones, But they brought me here under false premises.
Really? I mean, how do those things happen?
So I was told I was just going to come for a little bit to learn English. And my sister had gone to New York and spent like a whole summer there because my grandma, maternal grandma, she was the sous chef at the mission of the Mexican embassy in New York.
Okay.
So, my sister went over there, spent like a whole summer. My cousins had been there, So I thought, okay, well, I'm just going to be in Chicago for the summer. And I had a boyfriend, my first love. And
Here in Chi-Town?
no, in Mexico.
In Mexico?
Yeah, that was my first boyfriend, like the
Ooh,
first
and
love.
they lied to you and brought you here.
Yeah. Oh, because they knew that if they didn't.
What was his name?
Roberto. Yeah, Roberto Garcia. I looked for him for many years, but I was not able to find him. But yeah, that was the love of my life, and he couldn't. He was ready to come after me, but at that time he was 19 and he hadn't. I don't know, something that had to do with the service, the military, or something. So he hadn't served, so he couldn't leave the country. So he was like, I don't care, I'm gonna go the legal way, and I'm
Te
like,
amo.
no,
Necesito.
te amo.
No puedo vivir.
Voy a ir a buscarte. So I told him no, like if it is meant to be, let it happen, and it didn't happen, unfortunately. But yeah, that was the love of my life, I guess, my first love. And so if my parents would have told me that they had the intention to come here, to move here, I would have never accepted the offer. But
Well, would you have a choice though?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know if my mom says I'm doing something. She didn't care what I liked.
Well, I had other siblings. Like my older sister could have come first, But I think of the three sisters, I'm the one that has always been like la aventada. They always tell me like, tú eres la aventada, tú te avientas a todo, And yeah, I mean, I'm a risk taker. Like I jump, and I've, like I said, I was the closest one to my dad, so I will follow my dad anywhere,
Right.
So I think that's where I was like, yeah, I'll go.
Would you call yourself a daddy's girl?
Yeah, I was 100%. Yeah, for sure.
Where are your parents now?
So they are both retired, and they live in Elgin. So my dad is 76.
Okay.
My mom just turned 70 a couple of days ago.
Okay.
Yesterday. Is today the 7th? No.
Today is the 7th.
Yeah, so the 5th. She turned 70.
Okay. On Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy birthday to mom. Happy birthday to mom if you're watching this. Hopefully you're watching this. You're seeing your beautiful daughter here, your entrepreneur daughter here, your boss over here, this boss lady over here. And hopefully you're proud of her, and hopefully somebody could translate this for you.
Yeah. Yeah, she does speak English. She does for
Is
sure.
it English or Spanglish?
No, English.
Because my mom's straight Spanglish.
Straight Spanglish.
Straight
No,
Spanglish.
I mean, my mom speaks both languages, but she always says like, "Oh, I don't speak English." Yeah, mom, you do. Like, come on, you absolutely
Cuando
do.
quieres.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. Like, it's just,
Other
I
than
guess,
that, she
comfortable
don't
with
speak
Spanish.
English.
Yeah. Yeah, she's just comfortable with, speaking Spanish. But she does, she speaks well.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, so you got here to the States. You had to go to high school here
Yeah.
because they would accept the credits that you had from Mexico.
Yeah.
Was there another love in that high school? Did you fall in love quickly?
No.
Or did you take some time waiting for Roberto?
No, I moved on quite fast. I'm like 3 months later, I was already dating. I think at that point I had to let go and accept that it was just too painful, and back then, I mean, think about it, it was 1995, 1996. We didn't have the technology that we had, like FaceTime and the long distance phone calls were ultra expensive. So
Right.
it was, our
Call me after
communication-
7 because this is going to be expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but this is like international. So it was anyway super expensive.
Right,
So, and it was like a landline, it wasn't like I had a cell phone or anything.
Did you get in trouble for calling him or him calling you?
Yeah. I got in trouble for calling him and because the phone bill, was pretty high. So it was just very painful. And I guess at that point, a subconscious part of me understood that I had to let go. And that's when I started to explore, what being in high school was like. And then I dated. I only had one boyfriend in high school.
Okay.
Yeah, un venezolano. And yeah, that didn't work out.
Well, it didn't. No, it didn't.
Yeah, that didn't work out.
So after high school, what did you go into work right away, or did you go to more schooling?
So I had to stop school to help out.
Yeah,
the
like
family.
most of us have to do. Yeah.
Yeah. So I started to work. I was 19 and I had 2 jobs. I worked at the mall, at Spring Hill Mall.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I was working at 2 different clothing stores.
Which
And
ones?
There was one that was called Rave.
I know Rave. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, so Rave. And then I got promoted to assistant manager.
Let's go. Got that discount.
Chacho, I was, going up and cleaning and they saw, the drive and, I got promoted and I didn't speak English, but, I was the store manager, and the assistant manager. And
How much is this? Okay.
Yeah. No, I remember, there were a lot of people, there were, a lot of people that they would, you could tell they worn the clothes, and even the ticket, you can see, smudged because of the sweat and it would smell like cigarettes or something.
Or they went out the last night, they're bringing it back.
And exactly. There's just people that do that.
They do it all the time.
And just dealing with that was tough enough because I couldn't really speak, so... I mean, in broken English, I would try to tell him no, this is worn, and I'm not going to give you the refund. So it was tough, but I got a lot of my fears, I guess, handled at that store, and then they made me. I think the position was co-manager at the other store. I'm always, even though I didn't speak English, I was always in some sort of leadership, team or something. And then the other store was 9 West, I think it was called.
9 West, yeah. 9 West, yeah.
Are they still around?
They used to have one at the Hip. I'm not sure if they still have one there.
Oh, I was so good in sales.
What? You were good at sales?
I was really good. Yeah, it was a men's clothing store, So
Wait, 9 West?
9 West? Oh, it was 9 West?
No, I thought 9 West was a female store. It was a woman's store.
No. So maybe I'm wrong. It was something.
It was a men's store.
Yeah, and it was called something West. I thought it was 9 West, but it was specifically for men, and they do suits and ties and. So it's
you were selling. You were selling. Ah, girl.
Boy, I was selling that clothes.
You probably would have got your Tesla if you're still selling those suits right now.
I was the #1 sales girl, and I really liked. Being independent at a very early age. And then, being the rebel that I am, I got kicked out of my house at 17 almost. Well, no, that was actually 18. So I went to live with who is now my best friend.
We're not going to go around that. We're not going to go around I got kicked out when I was 18. Why did you get kicked out when you were 18?
So when I started working at the mall, sometimes we had to do inventory.
Stay later.
And back then, it was all manual. It wasn't this is the 90s, right? Yeah. So we didn't have a digital system or anything like that. So we had to literally write down the SKU numbers, and how many, of those we had. You had to go one by one.
I remember.
So as a manager of the store, I had to, stay late. And so my mom came to pick me up at 9, which that's when I got off, and I wasn't ready yet. Then she came back at 10, and I said, come back, at 11. She's like, if I come back at 11, if you're not ready, I'm going to leave you here. She did. I spent the night in the mall behind the register. And I remember putting a whole bunch
of... She did not play.
No, and then the landline would die, or it would get disconnected overnight until 6 in the morning the next day.
This is what you told your mom, right? So
I didn't.
You're just staying with the story.
I didn't.
Just in case she watches this.
Yes. Oh yeah. She knows that I still have beef with her over that. You know why? Because I heard a lot of stuff in the middle of the night, so I thought there were people, but there were no people. Because I even came out to ask, hey, can you help me? So, yeah, there were kids laughing. It was scary.
People were hanging out in the mall?
No, I don't think it was people.
Oh.
Yes.
No, one of those things.
No, it was one of those things that you can hear but you cannot see.
It's one of those things you need some holy water.
Yeah, no, and something else, but it was pretty scary. And I basically, spent the night there. And then the next day, we started having problems. And then my dad, being the religious man that he is, he had a rule that after 10 p.m., no one got out of the house and no one came in.
Yeah.
So I got kicked out because of that. And, I had to...
But it wasn't your fault. You got left
I was working,
behind.
That's what hurts my soul. It's I was working. It's not like I was partying or anything. And time to time, I would jump out of the window. But I wouldn't let my mom know.
See, okay, there was a routine here. There was something that was
So think about it. I was 19,
It wasn't
right?
the first time you came home late.
Well, no, actually, no. I was always home at 10, and this is the time. But because I was working, it's not, But after I got in at 10,
In
I
the
would
house,
jump out of
there was always an
the
open window. And they knew this.
My mom knew. I told her, I'm gonna jump out of the. No, mija, por favor, me vas a meter en problemas con tu papá. But dude, I was 19. It's like, I'm an adult now. I pay rent. Like, let me live,
They were just,
So
they were just trying to protect.
Yeah,
I feel
so
that. Yeah.
I got kicked out, and then I went to live with my BFF, which, to this day, she's still my best friend.
Awesome.
And that was something else because it was literally like this little girl from the suburbs of Mexico City coming into like, whoa, and it was like.
Did you go into the city? Because you're in Elgin.
No,
Did you
I was
ever drive into the city?
in Palatine. No, the city wasn't even a thing yet. I didn't get into the city until my 20s. Okay. Let's not talk about my 20s. But at that time, I was, just trying to survive. I was 19.
Working at Rave.
Working at Rave, working in the other store, which I will catch you the name because I'm now like, what was the name of that store? It was something with W or I can't even remember the name, to be honest with you, but it was in the mall.
Okay.
And then I got another job that paid more money, which was at the Sears Reebok and Company in Hoffman Estates.
Okay.
And that's where I met my best friend. That's where I met my then husband, Okay. So, yeah. And then after that, I went into the hotel business.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go back a little bit. A sentence. Husband.
He's awesome. Mm-hmm. He always was. I can tell you that he wasn't the problem. I was. I think, he was too stable for me, and I was looking for the chaos that mirrored what was happening with him. Mm-hmm. So he was too stable, too boring, and then, I was just kind of like trying to find a way out, and I found it. Mm-hmm. He did something that he shouldn't have, and that was my way out. And now I understand that, we're both Sagittarius, right? So,
Okay.
He was older than me, and I was just about to spread my wings and learn some harsh lessons that I had to go through. So I got a divorce. I married him when I was 20. We were divorced by 24, 25, and that's when I started to that's when I discovered the city.
So you started wilding out.
Yeah. So my 20s was a whole lot of turmoil, craziness, crazy relationships that really destroyed me, and
Toxic.
ooh, yeah, to say the least.
Mm-hmm. So this husband, your children from this husband?
Yes. So my two older adult children now, they are from from that marriage, and then
You said that marriage. Wait a second.
or they are.
How many marriages you got here?
No. None. I've been only married once. Almost
Okay.
married one other time, but that didn't. No.
Okay.
I'm still single.
I'm learning. Girl, I'm learning a lot from you today.
Yeah. Well, let's just say.
You think you know a person? You think you know a
I'm
person.
telling you. Let's just say that I wouldn't be who I am today if I didn't experience the people that I did at the time that I did and how I did. So, yeah, toxic to say the least, but back then I didn't really quite understand that they were a reflection of my unhealed wounds. Mm-hmm. And I was just attracting what mirrored that, right? So, yeah, of course, I'm not purposely going to get involved with somebody if that person is abusive per se, right? Mm-hmm. No, it's you find yourself in that situation way too deep when you want to get out. So I am a survivor of domestic abuse.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had somebody that almost killed me, like literally almost killed me. I'm here
Wow.
for the grace of God, But that was a lot of, it had to do with my childhood. Yeah.
Okay.
And that subconsciously shows up, right, in your relationships. So I was always attracted to the relationships were super intense, right? Like when we laughed like 2,000%. When we, you know,
pretty much
made love, you know, it was 1,000%. There was no balance, you know, and when we fought, it was just
the same,
that intense, and that cannot take you anywhere.
No.
And it was pretty tough.
And were the children around this time?
No.
Okay.
No. Thank God, because that would have been pretty devastating. When I got a divorce, I decided to have a permanent obligation to not have any children anymore.
Gotcha. Yeah.
5.5 years later, I conceived, who is now my 14-year-old now.
Your 14-year-old.
Yeah.
Did I know this? I don't think I knew this, a 14-year-old. I knew the older. Okay.
I have a 14-year-old. He's amazing. He's definitely a miracle baby. They gave me 5% chance that he would survive.
Come on.
I did everything in my power not to, you know, because once I learned that I was pregnant, I'm like, all right, I'm not doing anything until if he's meant to be, he's going to be.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened, you know. And this child was, I think he came to save me, really. Yeah, God sent him to me to save me. So my 20s was kind of like the chaos, learning lessons, you know. 30s was more like paying my karma.
Pay for all the stuff you did.
And paying for,
Keep on jumping out of bedroom windows, girl. Keep on jumping out of bedroom windows.
Exactly. And then, you know, now that I'm in my 40s, it's more like, all right, I'm embracing the lessons. I'm taking responsibility. It's not easy at all. But when you are honest with yourself and you take a look at, okay, it cannot be everybody's fault. No, okay, what do you do, right? Like, but I was always blaming the partners. I was always blaming other people.
There's always somebody else other than us.
Of course. And we don't realize, right? So if somebody would have told me, you are attracting this type of men, I would have been, you're crazy. What do you mean? I'm a good woman. I'm loyal.
You're hardworking.
Why would I attract somebody that is not like me? Well, it reflects other unhealed wounds that you have that they come to reinforce that belief, right? So I didn't know that. I didn't discover that until my 30s after a hospital trip to the mental ward. And that's what I speak about in my first book.
Wait, hold up. See? You're just throwing curveballs at me today.
Well, you said you wanted to
You
get
think
to
you know
me.
a person, man. What's this book about? When did this book come out?
Okay, have you heard of Today's Inspired Latina?
Today's Inspired Latina. Is that the name of the book?
Yeah, well,
I have no idea.
It's a series of books which became an international movement.
Okay.
So I contributed to the very first book.
Okay.
Very first book. So my story, my chapter talks about me going into, the mental hospital.
Psych ward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and dealing with anxiety, depression. That's when I got diagnosed with all these things that I was like, it was almost comforting and enlightening because I knew something was wrong, but I could not put my finger on it, right? So anxiety, ADHD, which I had no idea that I had. I had no idea I had dyslexia. I had no idea that I suffered from panic attacks. I just knew that there were moments where I felt like I was dying, like I could not breathe, and I didn't know what to do in those moments. That's when I got, I got diagnosed with major depression disorder and PTSD from narcissistic abuse.
Wow.
So they threw a lot at me in just one visit. So that's where my true healing started.
Yeah.
At the hospital. So I spent 2 weeks inpatient. It was pretty scary, because you think that you come in as like, give me a pill or something, and coming right back out, and I'm just going to live my life. But no. During the hospital time, I came to open my eyes to a lot of things. Like I had no idea what PTSD was. And until they told me, I was like, oh my God, now I feel like I'm getting these answers, just the way, the complexity of my brain, I thought something was wrong. Like I really thought, maybe I'm the crazy one, maybe I am crazy, maybe I am chaos, and all those things. But ego always gets in between, right? And the battle with the ego is one of the things that I've struggled the most with throughout my life. Because when the ego wants to drive, when the ego responds, sometimes you end up self-sabotaging, So fast forward to the time when I understood what was happening to me. I went to the hospital, but just for them to tell me what was wrong and say, here are the tools. And because I had also an addiction problem, which they described it as addiction, because I was combining alcohol with my medication. Mm-hmm. So they consider that addiction. And I didn't think I was addicted, but I'm like, okay, well, if they're saying this, maybe I am addicted, So it was an intense program where it was all holistic. So, I couldn't do any drugs at all. So I went from taking heavy medication to nothing. So I went through that raw, like feeling
that must have been really tough.
Oh
Your
my
body
God.
just going through that withdrawal.
I still want to cry when I remember that.
Oh, wow.
Because you feel all the rawness, like all the things that you have been trying to numb, for a long time. And there's no peace of mind, And I was too angry at God, to even pray. So feeling everything was really tough. And that was around the time when my 14-year-old, he was like 6 months old. And we had a devastating breakup. I found out that he was living and sharing my son with another person. So it was rough. It was very rough, but I came out of it, and when you think, okay, I have all the answers, no, you just got the diagnose, but you have to go out in the world and cope with it, and that's one of the hardest things, to be able to function in a crazy world where I didn't feel safe, So there's, a lot of situations that I can name where I was just in survival mode, So yeah, it's tough once you learn what's happening to you, Yeah. Excuse me.
Gregory, bring me this issue, please. It's in the washroom.
So yeah, that was tough. Those years were, I would say, thank you so much. Thank you.
You just leave the box. Because that might make her cry a lot more.
So yeah, learning what triggers me and why.
Yeah.
Choosing to respond differently, Mm-hmm. And I came to realize that my whole life, my ego was driving the bus. Anything that I reacted to in business, in relationships, it had to do with my unhealed wounds.
Yeah. So where are you now with those unhealed wounds?
So I think that my healing process is an ongoing process, but I am more, it still hurts. Not the same, but it still hurts. Some of the things, right? Like I catch myself, with situations, and I'm just gonna be raw and open with you, and with some of the things that I recently have come to experience and how I have been able to change that. So there was a personal situation that brought me back to feeling that someone else was chosen over me, right?
Okay.
And that touched that wound, right? That I thought it was healed. Mm-hmm. when I started to feel that, I started to think, okay, why? Why am I being triggered? Why am I feeling this way? And those are the moments where you have to like really, literally be in silence and allow yourself to feel, right, what you're feeling. It's uncomfortable. It burns. You don't want to stick to that feeling. But when you are able to process it, okay, so just do it through deep breathing. So you just, and then you concentrate all the energy, right? You harness that energy, because think about it, your emotions is energy. You can literally measure thoughts even through frequency. So the emotions that you're feeling, whether if it is anger, fear, when you feel that, you allow yourself to feel it, right? And sometimes your body reacts to it. So sometimes you shake, right? Sometimes you want to cry. So I allow that to happen.
Yeah.
And it's just breathing. And then I try to connect it to when was the first time I felt like this? Or what does this connect to? Why am I being triggered? Why am I hurting? So when I do that, I'm able to connect it to something that happened a while ago, right? Mm. And then in that moment, I allow myself grace. So if I feel like crying, if I feel like screaming, if I feel like punching a wall, not a wall, punching a pillow, or writing about it and cried all over the paper, right? And then I give myself grace. I pray about it. I reconnect it with God, and I'm a huge believer that Jesus is on my side and he's protecting me. He's my Lord and my Savior.
Come on, somebody.
Yeah. And it reminds me, what the Bible says. And I don't know that passage in English, but in Spanish it says, instruye a tu hijo en su camino, or something like that, right? That when you bring your kids to the right way, even though they might, derail, eventually you come back. And I feel like that's where I'm at. Especially all the stuff that I see happening and in the world, and how Satanism is bluntly promoted, and how some artists go through this crazy contract that they cannot say the word Jesus. It's like, okay, wait, if it wasn't real, why are they trying to suppress the name of Jesus? And why are they promoting the other guy, so much? So that's where I began to learn. Yeah, it's not that I ever doubted that he was real. It's just I didn't connect. I didn't place it in the world nowadays. Like, okay, I see what's happening. It was just always like religion, the Bible, but somewhere up there in heaven,
Well, that's what we say. We don't have, people I know and the way I am, we don't have religion. We have relationship.
Right.
So it's a spiritual relationship I had with the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
I don't have a religion. I'm not going to bend my knee every 5 minutes or...
Right.
No. If it's not biblical, why are we doing it?
Right. I'm totally deviating from, just, what doesn't go with my belief system, which, like I said, I think I was able to re-encounter or have an encounter with God, because the God that I was angry at, is the God that they used to preach, and like, God is a God that is a jealous God, and he wants you to like
brimstone and fire,
humiliate yourself, and you're like, oh, that sounds like a pretty narcissistic, So I always had that, I was so fed up and sick of the religion, because remember, my parents used to be pastors, so I saw everything that went on before,
I get it 100%.
Before church and then after. So that created a lot of doubt as far as like, are we really praying to the right guy, Mm-hmm. But when I was able to connect with God truly, and how I felt his hand in my and what I see, his protection, absolutely, and even seeing things that I'm not supposed to be seeing in the middle of the night, literally with the name of Jesus.
Gone.
Well,
the Bible says it.
Yeah.
Those things they can't be in the same room if you say his name.
Absolutely.
They have to flee. The Bible says the word flee.
Yeah.
Once you say his name, Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah Nisi, El Shaddai, Elohim.
Yeah.
They got to go. They can't stay there.
They can't stand it.
Right.
So there's, things that I even have captured on my phone, and I have.
I know you got some stories, whatnot. We're gonna have a part 2 to that one.
That's a whole other thing.
So we could talk about spirits, we could talk about aliens, we could go in a lot of directions when it comes to my friend here, people.
Yeah, we can go deep. Yeah. Just tell me which dimension you want to talk about.
So what do you got coming up that you want the people to know? And if you do, where's your camera at? What side? It's on this side? Yeah, it's on this side.
Yeah.
So if you want to look into that camera and let the people know what you got going on, what's coming up this month, which I know, so I'm going to be there, what you got in the next few months, and what's going on in the summertime. What are your plans?
So quite a bit on the calendar now. I'm definitely working on a series of events through Cachet Marketing and Events. As I was sharing with you earlier, I am the founder, and I have 2 upcoming big deals. So the first one is the launch of Cachet Entrepreneur, which is a video series that I'm creating along with TCK Pro, which is my grant sponsor. So we are extending the spotlight to successful entrepreneurs that are ready to elevate their game and their brand. So there will be features in a series of reels. They are like a minute-long reels where we get to highlight their entrepreneurial journey. It's going to be very inspirational. And we will be giving massive exposure because we're going to be doing this through a dedicated digital campaign. So we guarantee you at the very least 50,000 views per video.
That's good.
And, that's great marketing for you.
That's awesome marketing.
And that comes with a lot of benefits. So you get to join the speaker circle that I was also sharing with you about. That's another endeavor, which is also part of Cachet. It's just a platform that I'm opening for aspiring aspiring speakers and entrepreneurs. So this platform is free.
Okay.
You don't have to pay for anything to sign up. Yes, and you can get featured as a keynote speaker, and then we will give you a booth at the event and all that stuff. So all you have to do is literally just sign up and say, I want to be a part of the circle.
You want in.
Yeah, and I'm extending this to other networking events and networking groups. So I have partnered up with Tony P's networking events. So we're going to have a lot of speakers from that side come to be a part of this series. As a matter of fact, we're kicking it off with Greg DeKalb, which is one of the co-founders of Tony P's networking events. He's amazing. He's also the founder of Appointments IQ, which is the system that runs behind, their events and their huge database. And I'm really excited to working with them because they're like, creme of la creme when it comes to networking events.
That's awesome.
So I'm really excited about that. So that's what I have coming up. So January, the launch of Cachet Entrepreneur, and then I have March 8th, we have International Women's Day. It's a one-day retreat which is going to be a healing experience. Mm-hmm. You literally come into, body, mind, soul, and there's going to be other components in there. So we're going to have yoga classes, or a yoga class or activity. We're going to have somatic dance. I'll be teaching that part.
We didn't touch dance, but there's going to be a part 2 to this.
Yeah.
We haven't touched about your dancing, but go ahead.
Yeah. So we're going to be also providing acupuncture combined with sound bath and sound healing. That's optional if you want to do acupuncture, but you don't have to. So there's going to be also education on CBD products, which most people don't even know that there's like nutrition alternatives with CBD and hemp and all these different things. It's going to be really phenomenal, and I'm really excited about it. The lineup of speakers are all certified. They're if they're not doctors, they're certified, and I'm really excited about that because it's the first time I do like a retreat on my own, like under Cachet, because I've done others. I had a dance retreat, 2 years ago, but this is going to be a Cachet endeavor, which I'm really, really excited about.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited for what you got coming up. The first one is January 28th, correct?
January 28th.
And where can they find the link, or what's the website, or they could go to?
Website is cachetmarketingandevents.com, and they can just press on events so they can see everything that we have coming up. So all the events are listed, including the first few ones for the speaking events. There's another tab for the speaker circle. If you're interested, just, sign up, and then I'll contact you. And then to stay in the loop, make sure that you subscribe to our newsletter so that way you know when how to sign up to be featured, and also when will be the next few events coming up.
Awesome. So the first event on the 28th is going to be where exactly?
That's going to be in Berwyn. It's called Jardín Gastrobar. It's a really nice venue. I don't know if you've been there.
No, not yet.
I love working with them. They're amazing. Food is really exquisite, and they have this. It's kind of like
exquisite, people. Use the word exquisite.
Yes, exquisite is the word. They do a Latin fusion, so it's kind of like high-end Mexican cuisine. Their drinks are really phenomenal. They have, some really great mixology going on. So that's going to be on the 28th, 6 to 9, 9:30. We're going to have artistic performances.
Okay.
We're gonna get to meet the 4 of the entrepreneurs that will be featured during the series. So it's going to be really good. It's going to be really, really fun.
I can't wait. I know we're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of knowledge to grab, a lot of gems to definitely pick up,
Yeah.
I know what you're going to do there, and if you're trying to level up, I'm looking right into the camera. If you're trying to level up your business, you're trying to level up your entrepreneurship, you're trying to level up how you speak in a crowd, go to these events. Go to that website she said. I'm going to put it right now underneath me as she says it. I'm going to go like this. What's the website again?
CachetMarketingandEvents.com.
There you go. So make sure you go there, you sign up. It's free. It is 100% free. What you're going to get out of it is gold. So show up, sign up. If you want to stop working for the man 9 to 5, this is your chance. This is your chance at the beginning of this year, of 2025, to do this. So I recommend you do it. And you'll see me there too. All right?
Awesome. Yeah, because you're our awesome, super amazing sponsor. Thank you for that.
No problem.
So thank you for supporting me.
From the get-go, I haven't said no to you yet.
It's because it's all good stuff, How can you say no to me?
you got me to interview Bears fans.
Yes. Well, only because I know how good you are, and it was just a natural fit. It's just I'm like I know exactly who will do it amazing, and you did amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I think you're an amazing person, in and out. I think that life has thrown you curveballs, but you have hit them out the park.
Yeah, I think so. Hopefully I'll retire from the game, but in a good note and not having to deal with it. But I think, it's an ongoing endeavor, our self-development and healing and everything is an ongoing thing. So I'm happy that I'm here, that I am where I'm at, and I'm very grateful for all the experiences, good and bad. Everybody comes into your life. That's a reflection of who you are. And if it's something bad happening in front of you, well, it might not be the person in front of you. You might just be the parts that you haven't healed yet that are attracting that kind of situations, people.
That's some good talk. I think I'm going to have you here when I have my therapist here.
Sure.
And then we go, I'll just talk about those things.
Oh, I
awesome.
love talking to therapists, for sure.
Yeah. So one more time, your tags now, your Instagrams or whatever you want people to look you up on.
You can just look me up by name, Paloma Greer, anywhere.
How you spell the Greer part? Because I know they're going to be asking.
Greer.
Okay.
So Greer.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you for coming down to the Flava Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
And spending some time with me. We thought it was going to be only for a half hour, 45 minutes. It's an hour and 36 minutes.
Wow. Are you serious?
And Paloma, my friend, I got something in my pocket here, and I give this to people that have flavor.
Oh my goodness! You know how much I love Goya.
So if you point,
Adobo.
If you show them there you go. Goya, I want my money.
Si es Goya, tiene que ser bueno.